Alright, here we are, another week around the trash for your host Matthias, along with the boy.
John.
Long time no see, John.
Yeah, I've been busy, but Warhammer doesn't go away, so here we are, yet again.
That is true. It's been a nice month break.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a shocker to realize that I forgot to release the LVO episode, so that was
Oh,
this
really?
kind of feels bad moment, yeah.
All good.
Yeah, last week I just when I was getting ready for us to do another episode, I saw that it was unlisted.
Oof.
I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So
That's okay. That's okay.
if you got a update video about how I just came back from the LVO, yeah, it's supposed to be like a month ago released. But it's good to be back. Good to be back. I haven't really been keeping up too much with the news, so I had to do a little crash course before we went into this recording. So lots of stuff to talk about. So let's get into some of the generic news out there. And we'll jump into the model news here. So generic news, let's get on the right screen here. Video game news. Apparently, Call of Duty and Warhammer are crossing over.
It's only a matter of time.
I mean, yeah. I guess Space Marines have already been out. Now they're also getting a Scout, Sisters of Battle, and a Guardsman skin. But I don't know. I didn't think I'd see Warhammer and Call of Duty. You know, I know Call of Duty is such a big franchise, but given we live in a world where Fortnite is a thing, I was confident that would have been the first time we'd see Warhammer in a shooter like that.
Warhammer would be slightly too violent for Fortnite, considering, you know, they have chainswords and all that. But, I mean, after Call of Duty had like a collaboration with like Dune and The Boys, Warhammer was not too far off, I think.
I mean, I don't think it wouldn't have been a reality. It's surprising to see that it is going that way, given Call of Duty's. I mean, granted, I stopped playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2 back in the day on the PlayStation 3. You know, Call of Duty's more of that realism kind of.
Oh no, it's gone off the rails for sure in the past year or so. Actually, I last stopped playing Call of Duty with the remake of Modern Warfare in 2020. But after that, it's gone off the rails with just these random collaborations.
Well, you know, you see what Fortnite does, and you know you gotta jump in on it, right?
It works, so.
I mean that's why.
Here we go.
That's why what's it called? Overwatch is doing all their like anime collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
No,
this is
because people want to buy it.
Yep, people will absolutely buy it.
But yeah, so that's the thing that's coming out. We got also some McFarlane toys here, Joy Toys. Looks like we got ourselves a little mini Horus Heresy right here. Horus.
I'm buying this. I'm actually gonna. I have an alarm set for tomorrow. I will pre-order this. I was gonna get the Abaddon one because I love the Abaddon design, and after finishing End in the Death, Abaddon is definitely my favorite Warhammer character. But I think I'll get the Horus one first because it is a great model.
I mean, it's a pretty detailed model. I feel like it's gonna be a big model, and then obviously we got the mini Marine there, Abby. But yeah, so that's a thing that's coming out. add to your giant Joy Toy collection. Have yourself a giant miniatures battle. That was at one of the LVOs, I recall. That was 2023. Where they had a bunch of Joy Toy models on a giant map.
Yes, they did. That was cool.
That is a thing. We also got because we've been gone for so long, we haven't even talked about this. So this is the model of the month. The Neurogaunt Swarm is what you can get at your local GW. You spend X amount of money, get yourself a little Neurogaunt.
Oh, that's free. The Neurogaunt, I think you just get.
Oh. Well, you know. It used to be. Spend an X amount of money.
No, not for the free model. The
coin, the coin is.
Yeah, you're thinking of the coin. The model has always been free. Well, depends on the store, but some stores you need to paint it in store. Sometimes the ones I've gotten models from, you just kind of get it.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the coin is Dark Angels. They just got their release, which we're not really gonna go too much into. But there we go. Dark Angels coin. Get yourself a Neurogaunt free model. I think that is it for that. So, because we didn't talk about last week's Sunday preview, we're going to talk about last week's Sunday preview here. Saturday preview for the pre-orders. So, what can we pre-order this week? You got the Kroot box that comes with the Tau book a month early, you know, because GW loves that business model. So that's going to be a thing there if you want to get the Tau book and month early. You grab this and get your new Kroot models as well. So that's going to be the thing. Underworlds, we got that Necromancer team here, the weird werewolf thing. The two lovers, that's coming out. Relic rival decks, these are coming out as well. It's a lot of underworlds here. The Mirrored City, get the God, what are they called? The trolls. You get the trolls with the fancy squigs. You get the Skaven. You get the Briarthorn, and you get the Bad Moon goblins. Necromunda, we got the Dalek Dock and the Gang Lookout, as well as some Ash Waste upgrades here. Some Gang Tactical cards. Some Zorn Matalis Gang Tactical cards, and that is that. So, a lot of specialist games there. The big thing being the Tau book. I mean, the Tau army box that's coming out. Which, I hear a few spicy things going on with the Tau book, so we'll get to that later. But let's see what we have for this Sunday's preview. And this Sunday's preview is going to be the Orcs for the Old World. So, if you want to get your Green Tide up and running, we got the battalion here.
So this is about 500 points, if I'm not mistaken, having built an Orc army list. So it's a good start if you want to get your Orcs and Goblins going for Old World. But geez, these are some old models.
Yes, they are. The oldest of the old, right there. Got that. We got the Black Orc Big Box model.
So this is new. This is a new resin kit. Resin kit. A new model for this launch.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty cool. I actually like him.
It looks decent. We got the War Boss on the Wyvern, the this derpy looking model. I remember this from back in the day. We got the Troll Hag, which is
Forge World
new,
model.
right?
That's a Forge World model.
That's Forge World? Okay.
Yeah.
Never seen anyone ever use it, so I would assume it was new. So there you go. Forge World. We got the Night Goblin command set.
Yeah, Orcs and Goblins command sets.
Which
So it comes with a
Orcs.
For the Orcs you got a boss and the Battle Standard Bearer.
Mm-hmm.
And for Goblins you get Battle Standard Bearer, a boss on a squig, and a shaman, Goblin Shaman.
Goblins are all new, right?
No, these are all remakes.
Interesting.
They're
I feel like
all
I've never
Forge
seen.
World.
I feel like I've never seen them, but then again, you know,
They're-
orcs were
they're
never
actually
really that prevalent.
They're actually Forge World, which is probably why you haven't seen them.
True. AOS, not AOS. Warhammer. At least when I used to play, I rarely ever saw anyone use Forge World models.
Yeah, same.
Then we got the classic orcs in plastic, which is the orc war boss on a boar. I think that's the black orc standard
BSB,
bearer.
and some Orc boys.
And some normal orc boys. And classic orcs in metal, which are just the old orcs. I think that's an orc shaman right there.
Yep.
And then more goblins.
Huge release.
Yeah,
Huge
if
release.
you've the orcs are getting a lot of stuff here. They are a prevalent race in the old world there. Alright, some more classic orcs here. These old trolls here. Doom divers. Giant and bone grinder giant. God, that old giant model, Jesus.
Yeah, the first one. What a weird looking thing.
Yeah, so I was so used to the plastic one. Since that was the one that everyone I knew ran. But interesting to see this new giant model here. And then of course you got the arcane journal here for the orcs and goblins.
Picking this up, I will want to collect all of them. I already have the Tomb Kings and Bretonnian ones, which are pretty quality.
That's good. I've yet to pick anything up, old world wise. We got the dice and the cards, which the dice look nice. Just a shame that it's so limited.
Yeah, that's okay. I still need to pick up an artillery dice.
True. All right, and then we got the Horus Heresy.
Yes.
So, got the Age of Darkness, the Battle for Beta Garmon, which I'm sure John can go into great detail about.
Yeah, this is the next campaign book for Horus Heresy 2.0 following Siege of Chthoniya. This details as Matt mentioned, the battle for Beta Garmon, which is the final big battle before the Siege of Terra. Essentially, Beta Garmon was the system that guarded the straightest route to Terra, so Horus needed to punch through so he could besiege the throne world. And it's infamous in the lore for being the largest campaign that involved the most titans. Rogel Dorn kind of deciding that he didn't want if there were titans on Terra at this scale, the planet would just be obliterated. So he decides to send the majority of the Titan legions loyal to the Emperor to Beta Garmon to defend that system from Horus, who in turn sends the majority of his Traitor Titan legions. So a lot of Adeptus Titanicus campaigns are set in Beta Garmin because of that tidbit of the lore, which is super cool. But it's also going to include not just rules for that aspect of the campaign, but also for Shattered Legions, as well as Space Marine and Solar Auxilia combined armies. And it's also going to include some special characters from the books, like Tybalt Marr and Shadrak Meduson, Horus Abaddon, which I'm hyped about because I've always been a critic of random asshole syndrome in Horus Heresy. So having rules and models for the characters in the books we read is very exciting.
Yes, it's always nice to see on the board instead of some random hero here. So that is the Battle of Beta Garmin. That is coming out. We got some more Solar Auxilia infantry section here being sold separately instead of the big box. Everything we talked about. We got the tank, William and Rust assault tanks, the Dracosan armor transport, the heavy sentinel, sheets, and then we got Black Library. We got Renegades of Lords of Excess, which is an Emperor's Children book. Not familiar with the character, but
I think it's a new guy.
It is coming to digital, hard copy, and audio. And then Warhammer Plus, we're getting Lore Masters of the new Daughters of Cain character and how to paint a witch hunter. And that is that. That is what we can expect for next week's pre-orders. Now we've already gone over a little bit of this, but we did get the Old World Almanac here for the Orcs and Goblins, and I assume you've gone over this, so I'll let you handle this section here.
Yeah, so just a couple things I wanna, because it's a long article and they talk about the design process of making the Arcane Journal, but a couple things I want to point out. First thing being the two new, what do they call them? Armies of Renown, which are essentially the kind of formations alternate formations you can make with the Orcs and Goblins army. So these are exclusive to Arcane Journals. So for example, Bretonnians have one where it's the Errantry Crusade, which is essentially an all-cavalry force. They also have one where, I forgot the name, but it involves a Bretonnian noble who's exiled for being dishonorable. So he has a force of majority peasants and mercenaries, but still you could add some knights in, which represent his retainers loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tomb Kings have the kind of like an elite force with Tomb Guard and chariots. So you could have an all chariot army, and these armies of renown also include new units. So, for example, for the Tomb Kings one I'm talking about, you could take Tomb Guard chariots, which are essentially just Tomb Guard on chariots, which are super cool. And the other Tomb King one is I think it involves Necrotex and their constructs. You could take stuff like Sepulchral Stalkers without riders, and additional upgrades for your Ashabdi and all that. So for Orcs and Goblins, the two formations are nomadic Wa. So it's an kind of themed around the roving bands of Orcs and Goblins on wolves and boars that patrol the Badlands. So it's essentially an all cavalry, all chariot force. And then they also have the troll
horde.
Troll horde. Yep, Army of Renown, which allows you to take a lot of trolls. You can do an all troll army. You still need orcs and goblins for your core infantry, but it looks like they'll have more special rules for trolls and having troll characters and troll magic and all that. And the one more thing that they point out in the article is they talk about how the old world is exceeding expectations in terms of popularity. Big surprise there. Games Workshop once again failing to to predict the popularity of their products. So yeah, they talk about that. They talk about how they have plans for lots of years for old world releases, which is exciting because I'll talk about more in hobby rants. But I've been loving this game, been playing this game a lot. So no, hearing that it's going to receive more support is pretty exciting.
Well, I mean, it was a very popular game back in the day.
Yeah.
Despite what GW says.
Yeah. Definitely not to the caliber of 40K. The same, but in a way, the Age of Sigmar is closer to 40K in popularity than Old World or Fantasy would ever be. But I think Old World works really well as a specialist-ish game like Horus Heresy, where it doesn't need a release every 2 weeks to keep it relevant. Where you could just have once a month releases and people who play it will enjoy it.
Right. Plus, since they're re-releasing it, they don't have to they could do the same thing and be like, look at all these old models, we're gonna be bringing it back for this new game system. So
yeah, it's a lot of old models too. I'm sometimes shocked at the immensity of old models that they're bringing back. So looking at the previous article about Orcs and Goblins and the Sunday preview, like they're releasing trolls from the 90s. They're releasing the first giant model, which hasn't been in print in over 10 years, but it's coming back, and which is great if you like those models. I personally do not care about them, and even when Warriors of Chaos come with their old, I'm probably not going to get any classic Warriors of Chaos models because I like the AOS ones. But for the people who like those old stuff, that's great.
To each their own.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff to catch up on here. So Heresy Thursday, I got us a few things here. I obviously didn't go back all the way to when we stopped, which I think LVL was the last show we did. So
but we got the relevant ones. So
we got the relevant ones. So we got the new super heavies for Legion, for Legions. So
cool.
Here they go, introducing the super tanks here. Pick them up if you want to.
So I would say this is cute, right? I mean, it's cool for people who like this. Most people don't care. However, this is interesting specifically because these designs. So this is a shadow sword, and everyone knows what a shadow sword is, and storm swords. The Baneblade variants, right? If you're not familiar. However, these are new designs. These are specifically Solar Auxilia designs. So they're not like the boxy looking Imperial Guard ones. These take a lot of design quotes from the Solar Auxilia models from Horus Heresy that just came out. Now, while these are for Epic 30K, I can imagine they're going to release these in 28mm for Horus Heresy with the new designs. And it's super cool, right? I like that they're redesigning the classic Baneblade and Stormblade with the Solar Auxilia aesthetic in mind. So I think that's pretty cool. And for Solar Auxilia players, that's definitely exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they get new rules in 30K, because right now they are hot garbage.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
We got that going. We got Shadrak Meduson.
Shadrak Meduson. He is a character from the novels, a very important character if you're an Iron Hands fan in the novels, because long story short, he rallies the Shattered Legions of Istvan 5. It's where the Salamanders, Iron Hands, and Raymond Guard get their butts handily kicked by the traitors. So he kind of gathers them and rallies them and wages a guerrilla war against Horus's legions. And there's a bunch of novels and short stories featuring Meduson. So he's a pretty important character, especially for Iron Hand players and Shadow Legion players, because he kind of creates the Shadow Legions as a narrative force in a sense. So having a model is great. This is the kind of stuff I've been calling for when I played Horus Heresy First Edition. Characters from the books getting rules and models, not random Forge World fan fiction characters. But they're cool in their own way. But I prefer this, bringing the books to the tabletop kind of thing. So
well, you just wait.
This makes me happy. I do not care about this guy personally, but yeah, his presence makes me excited because that means we get to see more, and the characters I like might get models and rules.
Well, it's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time till everyone gets a model and / rules. Moving on, I think this is the last Horus Heresy one that I have here, and you kind of already touched upon it. Tybalt Marr also getting a model here.
Yes, Tybalt Marr. He is the Sons of Horus captain. I believe he's in the first 3 novels. I think he's in Horus Rising, or maybe False Gods. One of those.
It's definitely in the first 2.
Yeah, do you recognize the character?
Yeah, I do.
There we go. Yeah, so essentially he gets a bigger role in the Shadow Legion storyline. He is the Sons of Horus captain who gets tasked by Horus to hunt the Shattered Legions personally. So he's kind of like a nemesis to Meduson. I think he ends up killing him in the novels. I mean, the books are like years old now, so spoiler alert. But
how dare you?
He ends up defeating Meduson in the novels, and I'm having a Sons of Horus hype right now. I swapped my Dark Angels project to Sons of Horus, so this is cool. That here's a new character. He's a classic character in the novels, getting a model and rules. This is awesome. And to remind everyone, when they announced the campaign book, Horus Abaddon will also be getting a model and rules. And while he is a loser, he's an important loser, and I'm glad he is getting a tabletop release.
Mm-hmm. There we go. That is all the Horus Heresy for now that we have to talk about. Next thing, we got Necromunda. This is just a new bounty special character. Got some Ratman.
It's the closest we'll get Skaven in 40k ever.
Yeah, we got the Rat King over here. Bring out this old Skaven. So it's a pretty interesting model. Kind of surprised I haven't done like a Rat King model earlier, given what Necromunda is. But yep, that's coming out. Very good, very well done. Next thing we got. So we missed out on this one. This was the big reveal of the Orc and the Votann character that we were all hyped about. You remember this guy, right? The silhouette being the Votann captain.
Yes, the Votann custodian.
Yeah, exactly. So we finally got a peek at that, and well, disappointingly, it was just another golden boy character here, not a Votann.
Not only is he just another golden dude, he is literally just a golden dude. He's a shield captain. He's not even, which it is, I'm glad they didn't invent another special character or new HQ, but he really is a regular custodian captain. So definitely a quote unquote another golden boy.
It's another golden boy.
Not even exaggerating.
But we finally got his reveal here.
Actually, oh, go ahead. I was gonna complain about it.
Complain about it. Let me hear what you gotta say.
He looks like a Votann. Like he looks smushed.
That's why I was so convinced it was a Votann.
Yeah, it's very. He looks strange. Like the proportions are kind of off, especially if you look at the battle force at the bottom where he's gonna come in next to the warden. He just looks. Yeah, he looks like a pancake almost. Very strange. Not a fan of it. Maybe it's better in person. I hope it's better in person. But right now the pictures do not do him justice at all.
That's just the armor. Wearing all that armor over the years, and probably not good for your bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got that. We got the little spear stats here, which kind of whatever at the moment. Till we see what exactly his the rest of them do. And then, as Sean mentioned, we got the battle force here. Couple Terminators. The jet bike guys. And I'm blanking on the guys on the left there. I can't remember their names. But
the Wardens?
Those are the Wardens? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Wardens. So, from what I understand, right now, the jet bikes are completely trash. Just, given, like, what their points are and everything. So, maybe they'll be better in this, when their book comes out. I mean, things are definitely going to be changing, because we also missed this part. But since the new meta watch, or the new changes happened, custodians have gone up a lot in popularity, because they're just a very durable army and a very easy army to pick up. And since what hurt them was their special rule was being able to have a save against all mortal wounds, which was what devastating wounds used to be before it got put into its own category. And when devastating wounds got put into their own category, because they weren't technically mortal wounds, it kind of bypassed the whole custody toughness thing and really hurt them. But now that it's been updated in this latest rules update, they get saves against devastating wounds. Makes them a lot better and a lot more durable now. So I hear, going by Travis, my competitive guy, the custodians are going up in the win rate as good as Eldar right now. So we'll have to wait and see what they do in this new book. So we got that going, and obviously we get the codex that's coming out with this as well. And then on the other side of the coin, we got the Ork model that we got. The Big Mek with its 3 variants right now. Or not 3 variants. Two variants. You got the big gun there, and the mini shock attack gun. I don't know what that's called there. The tractor blaster, which is 1 attack, strength 10, AP 2, D6 plus 1 damage, anti-fly. So rip my Rav tanks. That's gonna be really good against that. No one runs any actual aircraft, so those don't really mean anything. But that's coming in. It's got the shock booster, and their battle force, sorry, is just a bunch of, let's see, burner boys, some normal orcs, a Stampa, surprisingly, a truck, and I think those are looters in the background there. So looks like instead of quantity of orcs, they decided to just give you a giant Stampa, which interesting to see. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a Stampa on the board.
Same. Not even like third party where I see someone else playing a game. I've not seen one.
I mean, probably back in 7th edition, I saw Stampa. But even back then, the Stampa was just way overpriced. And I think right now, the problem with the Stampa is that it's overpriced for what it does. So I guess if they reduce the point cost or they give it something where it becomes a little bit better, it might be worth taking. But yeah, this box set does not look enticing, to say the least. But we'll have to wait and see until the book comes out. They show the little size comparison, and then we get the Orc book. And then the last thing, second to last thing here, we got the Gunnar brand leads the Oathbound into the mortal realms here. So we got some more chaos coming.
Yes, so Dark Oath are coming to. It's the word I'm looking for. Age of Sigmar.
AOS.
Yes. So the Marauders from Classic Fantasy are getting their own kind of mini army, part of the Slaves of Darkness, and it's cool. I've always been a fan, as you guys know, of the regular humans in these fantasy worlds, and seeing the Dark Oath, which are the regular Chaos humans, not the Space Marine Chaos humans. You know, them getting
warriors.
some support. Yeah, them getting the Dark Oath getting support is pretty cool, and the models look amazing. I'm not sure if I'll include them in my Warriors of Chaos army because they're kind of way too detailed, which to me means more stuff to paint. But and I just purchased some Marauders, some Slanesh Marauder cavalry for my army, so I don't need any more. But if I didn't, I'd probably see myself getting them. But yeah, no, they're super cool.
They look really nice, especially this I don't know, this deer shaman guy.
Yeah, actually, I sent a link with they actually did more reveals for this army. They're getting another army set with a supplement.
Well, let me pull that up and let's take a look at it. Gotta go to here. Take me a second. Alright. So, here it is. So it's getting its own little box set here. We got this Marauder man on horse. Kind of reminds me of the God, what was that one model? The start of the Dawnbringers with the plague guy with the giant scythe.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I forgot the name.
It's basically giving me the same flashback to that model here. Just instead of, a plague guy, we got a normal Marauder. He's coming here. Look at the head variants. You got a nice skull helmet. That's pretty nice. It's pretty badass. A wilder fiend. I assume it's like a chaos spawn, but more wild, I guess.
Like a beast kind of thing.
It's pretty nice. I kind of enjoy this model. You know, its variants there. You got the Dark Oath Marauders. Just a bunch of humans. You got even female Marauders in this one as well. Showing that everyone can embrace chaos here. Yeah, these look nice. These are, well, I mean, it's AOS standard, so I expect it to be nice. And then we got the Fell Riders here. Their cavalry unit. I'm noticing that they don't have they're not charging in the battle with two hand axes in here. I guess they're not gonna have the dual weapons. Maybe it'll be another variant of them.
Maybe, yeah, they'll have a. No, it looks like it's either spears or hand weapons, not great weapons for this kit.
Well then. Well, I mean, they didn't have great weapons. When I said 2 hands, I mean like an axe in each hand. Wasn't that the Marauder thing?
Yeah. Now you have to take a shield. It seems.
Hmm.
That's okay.
Well, they're probably not cheap expendable units like they were back in the old world.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we got the supplement battle tome here. So very nice right there. This is the Dark Oath. They are getting their own little box here. And then before we get to the last thing here, I sent you a picture of this. But there's been this leaked image coming around from the factory. Have you seen anything about this?
I have not. What is this? AOS?
No, it's not AOS. So this is 40k. This is supposedly, put the air quotes on there, get your salt out. A leaked image of the Imperial Agents of Imperium Codex that's coming
cool.
out. This was apparently taken, at the factory, so someone is definitely losing their job over here. But there is a rumor that the Agents of Imperium are going to be getting their own Codex supplement here sometime this year. Don't know when, but everyone is using this image to say that it is confirmed that the rumors of them getting their own book is coming out right now. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's accurate, or is it BS?
I think it's. I don't think it's. I'm gonna say it's not BS. I think Games Workshop releasing, Votan and Imperial Agents for Kill Team, I can see them getting a codex in 40k because assassins need to go somewhere, right? And all those other guys need to go somewhere. So having a Inquisitorial Agents or Imperium Agents codex would make sense for them to hang out in. So
yeah, I mean, I see it. They're the only other place that they would put something like this would be the most undesirable thing, which would be a white dwarf. But it'd be nice to have in an official book that's easy to get and not a white dwarf that goes out of print really fast. So that is the thing that was circulating last week, I want to say. So exciting stuff there. But the next exciting thing that's going to be happening is Adeptacon is coming up. And with Adeptacon, we're going to be getting some big well, I don't know if they're going to be big reveals, but we're going to be getting some reveals for 40k, Sigmar, Warcry, Old World, Kill Team, Underworlds, and some teasers for 30k and Necromunda. Surprisingly, no legions, but I mean that could be just under the umbrella of 30k. But
I think so too. But I mean, I think Legions has a lot that needs to come out anyway, so
they're probably,
I don't think they're clamoring for anything. Yeah, so I'm.
They've been drip feeding us legions, the past months, every week kind of deal. So probably not too much of a big thing to be pulling out there. But it's that time, John. It's time to do some predictions. And or do you want me to go over what an Eldar Discord has already claimed is going to be happening?
Go for it.
So, again, this is just from some Eldar Discord that tries to find a bunch of rumors and stuff.
Of course.
They got some of the Eldar predictions right back in 9th edition, so. But this is what they got. Do you want to take a guess at anything before I just read it off?
The rest of the Aspect Warriors, specifically Swooping Hawks, the Avengers, and Fire Dragons.
No. Nope. This has no
Pixel Knight's
Eldar.
gonna
It
be
has
whack
no
as fuck.
Eldar in this release.
Oh, okay.
It was just in the Eldar Discord.
Oh, okay.
So 40k. We'll just start with 40k because that's the big popular one. It's gonna be a Chaos Lord. It's gonna be two Chaos Lords that are gonna be popping out. One with a jump pack, and then a normal one or Terminator.
Terminator one would be actually dope. I would pick that up immediately just to have.
And then obviously the Chaos box, because Chaos is the last army in the spring window that has not gotten their codex yet. So they're there. Okay. The next one's up. That's all it's gonna be for 40k. It's just gonna be the Chaos. Sigmar. They put Abraxia, Lady of Ruin. I don't know who that is, but that's coming. Ascended cool. And then the cinematic trailer for 4th edition.
Okay, that makes sense.
Underworld, they have Nurgle Demons versus Night Haunt Alchemists, which I thought Night Haunt already did the Night Haunt unit come out, or was that Warcry, the one with
I think that was Warcry.
So Underworld's gonna get more Night Haunt, more Nurgle Demons. Supposedly, again, remember these are all rumors coming from this one Discord. Warcry, we got the Kumathi War Dancers versus the Bone Reaper monsters, which
that'd be cool.
Makes sense because if you go to the bottom of this article, we do got a Bone Reaper dog thing. So
yes, we do.
That one's could be pretty accurate there. The Old World. You want to take a guess on this one?
Oh, dwarves.
Dwarves, exactly. It's gonna be the dwarf Thane with shield bearers.
That's it, dwarves.
Dwarves, yeah.
Okay.
Kill Team, Votan Pioneers versus Brood Brothers. So that'll be coming out. Necromunda. It's just gonna be a trailer teaser for Necromunda Secundus, which goes over my head. I don't really know what that means. Probably just gonna be a new campaign book. Probably gonna show off some more vehicles, if I had to guess. But
okay,
we'll see there. And for Horus Heresy, Mechanicus Knights.
What? That's lame.
Well, you know, Mechanicus Knights being plastic, probably. So.
Well, I guess if the big Porphyrion is gonna be plastic, that's kind of cool, I guess. But
yeah, obviously not what you want.
That's okay.
But that is the rumor that comes from this server. Again, they got the Eldar server. They got the Eldar stuff right back in 9th edition, so it could be semi-credible, but this is the list that's running around right now.
It does sound legit, I will say, so I wouldn't be surprised if those were accurate. And I kind of agree with that for the most part, especially with the preview of the Chaos character today. But that said, I do think that for Old World, they're going to do dwarves and then tease the next book. Hopefully it's going to be Empire or something. And for Horus Heresy, I would love to see like another special character from Beta Garmin. But you know, plastic Porphyrion would be cool if it's specifically a Porphyrion and not just because I think they got all the Cerastus done. I guess maybe not the Atropos, which is the one I have, which I wouldn't mind if they did that. But I would much prefer the more Space Marines.
Yeah, well, for AOS, I'm hoping the starter box is going to be some revamped rats. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's the long-term rumor, which is probably going to be right, that it's going to be Skaven versus Stormcast. Because the teasers they've been teasing have been pretty Skaven centric.
No, I mean it's about time. I think they are the oldest models, right? In terms of AOS.
Them and Beastmen. So hopefully Beastmen are getting new stuff as well.
Didn't Beastman get an update when?
No, they still have the Bestigors, Dragon Ogres, Beastmen are all the fantasy ones.
Oh, I could have swore they got updated. All right, but all this is gonna be revealed for us in LA Wednesday, 8 p.m. So it'll actually be at night, something we can actually catch, and not go up, wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning to try to see.
Right.
So that is that. And well, do you have any other predictions or your own predictions or?
No, I think that's it. Well, actually, there's another thing I'm calling for predictions, which is Star Wars Legion Second Edition. Please announce it, AMG, or at least announce the next update. Maybe after. Okay, here's my prediction. After the World Championships, they're gonna announce the next big update for Legion, which I hope will contain unit changes and new missions. Please announce new missions. Been asking for that since 2020.
That's gonna be an Adeptacon as well.
Yes, because yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that is all the news that I have from the GW websites and the little rumors that I've gathered here and there. I mean, I could have gone back all the way to the start of February, but you know, we're already in mid-March, so a lot of that stuff is already gone. We don't need to go that far back. I feel like we just pick up the highlights here that we missed. Excited to do it, to get back into this. But yeah, did you have any other news you want to talk about?
That's pretty much it.
All right, then. Well, then I guess we can get into the hobby rant section here. So, what have you been up to? It's been a month.
It's been up to a lot of Warhammer Fantasy or Old World, like a lot of Old World. I have actually played it in the first Old World tournament in LA. And I got first place with Warriors of Chaos because, geez, dragons are actually like OP. So yeah, I ran Warriors of Chaos. I had a block of 20 Chaos Warriors with shields. I had a Chaos Sorcerer, Markazinj. The Warriors have Markazinj, so they get +2 to cast. So for reference, Matt, casting in Fantasy now, it's kind of like in 40k, it's 2d6. You add the wizard level, and then you just gotta beat the score. So
that's nothing like 40k.
Maybe I'm thinking of AOS, where you add some modifier and you just try to beat the level.
I mean, no, that's old. That's Old World for you. That's how it used to be. You know, you got your level 4 sorcerer.
But there's no power dice, right? It's just 2d6, beat the casting value, add your wizard level, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like 9th edition where you gotta roll.
Yes.
If you deny the witch.
Yes, there we go. So yeah, I did that. So I have my sorcerer who gets +1 to cast, plus his wizard level because he's within with Marcus Zinch. I got 8. It's like 7 or 8 chosen knights, chosen chaos knights, just as a hard hitting unit. I got 2 units of warhounds, no upgrades, just as screens and all that. This is a 1500 points, by the way. And then for my final unit is I have a Chaos Lord of Dragon. He's like 500 points, and he has 5-up ward save from just being a Chaos Lord wearing Chaos armor. I gave him this magic item that gives him a 5-up regeneration save. So he has 2 5-up feel no pains, for reference. And then I gave him a shield, and this magic item that gives him +1 save, which means he has a 2-up, 5-up, 5-up. And it's not an invul, it's a Feel No Pains. It's 2 Feel No Pains, to reiterate. And also that last item gives him -1 to hit when you're trying to fight him in melee. And he just has a hand weapon, but all Chaos Warriors have -1 rend on their hand weapons, or -1 AP. And, he's on a dragon, right? Dragon is a monster and does stuff. So
Yep,
yeah,
that sounds like Hero Hammer to me.
Oh yeah, it was absolute Hero Hammer. And the first game I played against Skaven, and I won pretty handily. He just didn't have the tools to deal with my high toughness. Because it's Chaos Warriors or Space Marines, right? They have 3-up, 2-up save. My Chaos Knights have 2-up saves because of all the modifiers. Chaos Warriors have a 4-up save. All toughness 4, weapon skill 4 or 5. So Skaven had a hard time trying to chew through all that. So I got the first win. Second game, I played against Bretonians. I actually messed up combat res, man. So I think turn 2, I charged his Grail Knights with my Chaos Sword and Dragon, but didn't do enough wounds. Didn't take any wounds, but I didn't do enough wounds, so I lost combat res because he had rank bonus. I'm just a single model. He had rank bonus, banner, and all that. So I ended up fleeing, but I rallied automatically because it was just falling back in good order. So I fall back, and then behind my Chaos Knights were about to charge the next turn. So my Chaos Knights end up getting charged by like Grail Knights and Bretonian Knights. So they absolutely get smashed, right? Because Bretonians are pretty nasty on the charge. And then my Chaos Lord gets charged by a Bretonian Paladin and Pegasus Knights. And he kills all of them without taking any wounds. And then he charges in the Grail Knights. And then fights the Grail Knights, kills a couple. At this point, they've killed my Chosen Knights. And then the Knights of the Bretonian Knights end up charging him. So my Chaos Lord is fighting against Grail Knights, Bretonian Knights of the Realm, and like a Bretonian Lord and a Sorceress. And he like kills all of them without taking a single wound. Because he has a 2-up, 5-up, 5-up, and -1 to hit. It was disgusting. And the I don't need any melee magic items because the dragon's a monster. He already has a good melee profile. The Chaos Lord has 6 attacks with the -1 AP strength 5 weapon, and he has like the favor of the god stuff. So yeah, that was pretty disgusting. And on the other flank, my Chaos Warrior and Sorcerer are like blasting his peasants and some knights with magic. So they were holding their own. My dogs get slaughtered, but whatever. But yeah, the
That's
Chaos
what they're
Lord
for.
Dragon just exactly. Chaos Lord just like that was I thought I knew dragons were good on paper, but I didn't really believe it until I played that game where like the Chaos Lord tanks like 1,100 points and doesn't take a single wound because he just has the right items. So it was a fun game. My opponent had a good time. We were just laughing like, oh my gosh, like this guy just won't die. This guy won't take any wounds. So yeah, that was that. And the final game I was playing against High Elves, and he also had a dragon, and we ended up just slaughtering each other's army. I made a tactical mistake. I ended up charging his High Elves, I think Sisters of Avalorn, which is a nasty ranged unit with my Chaos Lord, like turn 2. They get demolished, but my army gets chewed up by his dragon and his dragon princes, which are the heavy cavalry. So I should have just charged his stuff with my Chaos Lord and Dragon because I realized like halfway through the game that my stuff's in combat anyway, so the Sisters of Avalorn can't really do much range damage because everything's in combat because my army wants to be in combat and you can't shoot in a combat. But even then, the game goes to turn 6, and the only thing surviving are my Chaos Lord and Dragon, who's at that point taken 1 wound, his High Elf Lord and Dragon, who's taken no wounds, and like 3 Dragon Princes. And normally that would be a win for him. However, in Old World, it's by you total victory points, like classic style, where you just count the points of the units you killed or fled or whatever, right?
Right.
Plus, if you
Whatever's
kill
left on
units
the
with
board.
banners, exactly. And if the difference is like below 200 points or something, it's like a draw. So the difference in victory points was less than 200, so it was a draw. However, the final table was a draw. However, because I scored more because of tiebreakers and all that, and I scored more victory points throughout the whole tournament, I get the first place, which was super fun. Geez, like yeah. So listeners, if you're gonna play Old World, there's Dragon Old World or Monster Old World, and then there's regular Old World. Definitely talk to your community if you want Dragon Old World, because Dragon Old World. Now, to be fair, it was 1,500 points. I'm not sure how. Maybe in 2,000 points you have more tools to take out dragons or other monsters like
Well,
necrosphinxes or wyverns, right?
all you need is one good cannon shot, and that usually kills your monsters.
No, actually, not anymore because dragons do D3 wounds now. Or sorry, cannons do D3 wounds instead of D6 against monsters, which is a huge nerf to the damage capacity.
Yeah, that is a huge nerf.
Yeah, that's actually why. I'm glad you brought that up because that's a big deal in Old World because as Matt alluded to in fantasy, cannons did D6 wounds to dragons and monsters, and monsters usually have 5 to 6 wounds. So on average, it won't die, but actually, on average, if you get shot by 2 cannons and 2 cannons cost way less than one giant monster, you're probably screwed. But in Old World, where I think even cannons are their strength went down and they do less damage to single targets, so monsters can easily tank them because you essentially have one turn to shoot the monster. Otherwise, it's gonna want to charge you, and usually monsters fly, so they could just go above your units and they probably like march 14 or 16 inches or something. So
I still just find it crazy that it's only D3 damage for a cannon. That's crazy.
D3 damage. Actually, guess what now that the game's been out for a while, there's some tournaments globally. Guess what the strongest army is right now?
Is it a legit army or is it a PDF army?
It's a legit army.
Is it? Well, I gotta go with my boys. It's Tomb Kings.
It's fucking Tomb Kings. Tomb Kings are like dominating the tournament scene right now because being unbreakable is super strong. A big change with Tomb Kings is they took away. Do you remember how you return models in 8th edition fantasy? How to resurrect models?
Yeah, it was the invocation of shit, what was
It
it
was
called?
some spell, right?
It was a spell. And then
So do you know
you
what?
could buy a magic banner that would also
There
be
we
on
go.
people as well.
Do you know what it is now?
At just any spell or being within 12
No,
inches of the Lich
no,
Priest.
it's disgusting. So at the start of your command phase of the turn, you make a leadership check for each Lich Priest in your army, each Lich Priest, and if you pass, pick a infantry unit within like his command range. That unit gets like D6 plus wizard level of models back, which is like what? So if you have like level 3 Lich Priest, you're getting D6 plus 3 skeletons or Tomb Guard back for passing a leadership check, and if you fail, you just don't get it for a Lich Priest. So people are taking like 3 Lich Priests and just like bringing things back. It's really good. On top of that, dragons are super strong. Monsters are super strong. Guess what's really good at killing monsters? Necrosphinxes, and necrosphinxes fly.
Yes, they
So
do.
they do. And they have heroic killing blow on their scythe hands.
Yep.
Which in Old World, if you wound on like a 5 or a 6, I think if you wound on a 5, the dragon or the monster just instantly dies. No words, no regeneration save. You only get a ward save. No armor save or anything. So it's a big counter against dragons, and being unbreakable is big because in fantasy, charging in with cavalry or whatever, and then breaking a unit so they flee, and then you could. That's a turn of them not doing anything, right? They got to rally and all that. Or best case scenario, you run them down, or you slime into them and you fight again next combat. Well, undead don't flee; they just crumble.
Crumble. Yep.
But if you don't wipe the unit, I actually played against Vampire Cons, one of my games where I charged a unit of zombies with Chaos Knights. I it was like a 40 block unit. I kill like 15 on the charge. Well, there's 25 left, and my knights were stuck there for like 4 turns trying to kill the. And I'm not losing any knights, but my knights are stuck there for like 3-4 turns, and I can't imagine if that was a unit of like Tomb Guard or skeletons, and they just won't die. And they kept they just keep resurrecting, because if you don't kill the unit, the Lich Priest will just bring it back, and then you'll get debuffed or whatever.
Now the
You get flank
resurrection.
charge. Uh-huh.
Can you do that multiple times on the same unit?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah,
If you have
that's broken.
if you have multiple Lich Priests, it's super good. But yeah, how the tables have turned. The Tomb Kings used to be pretty bad, and now they're the top dog, which is fine. I mean, like Tomb Kings are cool, and
I mean, Tomb Kings have always been a very strong army. I mean,
oh yeah,
I would say 7th edition when they got their new code or their new tome, and 8th edition, they were pretty strong. I mean, they nerfed a few things, but they were still a top tier army up there when they got redone. I mean, hell, they were even top tier when AOS was a thing.
That's true. That I remember.
Obviously,
yeah.
The lack of support kind of probably drowned them out, because I don't think Tomb Kings are even a thing anymore in AOS. But
yeah, no, they're not.
But Tomb Kings have always been a very good army, because they had so much versatility, especially the I want to say Invocation of Righteous Smiting, being able to shoot or attack in the magic phase. Everyone was just using that on the Screaming Skull catapults. Just have those Screaming Skull catapults just keep lobbing down more stuff, lower their leadership, and just have them flee off the board or whatever. Like, Tomb Kings were really good. I can't say they were top tier, but they were definitely better than before 7th edition.
Okay, well there we go. Well, now back with a vengeance.
Yeah, because
it's super strong.
Because pre 7th edition, I mean, their gimmick was, obviously chariots were core.
Yeah,
that was nice. They had the Kalita poison, 100 poison arrows, and then the fact that they only knew invocations, and the good thing about invocations were you can roll whatever you wanted and it just went off. So you could roll double ones and be like, all right, so it goes off on a 2.
Right.
But the downside of that being, like, they didn't have wizard levels, so you weren't getting any bonuses for anything that you were rolling. And that was about it. But once 7th edition came out and they got redone, and they got new monsters, new abilities, and access to actual lore, they were really strong.
Yeah.
Especially the Necropolis Knights. Oh my god. Necropolis Knights were busted. Because obviously they were monstrous cavalry. You got the Tomb Guard on top attacking you, and then you got the snakes, who had like 3 attacks and poison. And the snakes were like the most deadliest thing about the Necropolis Knights, because the poison was strong, because poison was an auto wound on a 6, I want to say, to hit.
Yep, still is.
So yeah, the Necropolis Knights were really good. I preferred the War Sphinx. That was always my favorite mount.
Yeah,
but
War Sphinx is still pretty good, because again, it's a monster, and monsters in general are just super good right now for the reasons I talked about earlier. But yeah, having access to a Necro Sphinx for Tomb Kings is great in a meta. If your meta has monsters, a Necro Sphinx is probably the best counter, because it has killing. I think it's the Gorgon also has Monster Slayer, which is the new heroic killing blow. But the Necro Sphinx flies, so that maneuverability is key.
Yeah, I don't have the Necro Sphinx. I have parts that you gave me like a long time ago. for our Necro Sphinx. So I could build one, but I don't have one I actually built because I went with the War Sphinx.
Yeah, and you don't need one, right? Especially again if you don't play in a super dragon meta. Like right now, I'm building an alternate Warriors of Chaos list that doesn't have a dragon, just because again the dragon is so game warping. And the tournament was 1,500 points, so like I mentioned earlier, like maybe 2,000. It's better, but even then, like honestly, it's kind of like old school Imperial Knights, where if you don't have the tools to deal with them, you're just kind of screwed. Or like Dark Troopers in Legion, where if you don't have a way to kill the dragon will just kill you. But if you have the ways to kill the dragon, then the dragon just dies. So
yeah, well, I mean that's why like I'm still shocked at the nerf that is cannons.
I think they wanted to give, or just make centerpiece models cooler again, like dragons, like Necrosphinxes or wyverns or griffins, right? Just because it's a cool monster, you don't want the cool monster to fall over to cannons or whatever.
Well,
but
question to you here: does the cannon still hit both models, aka the rider and the dragon or the mount?
No, so actually mounts are different now. Mounts, well, like for example, when let's say you have a high elf lord and you get a dragon, the dragon is in a separate model, so you just modify the profile. Well, actually, they share a defensive profile. Let's dial it back a bit. So when you give a high elf prince a dragon, the high elf prince gains like 6 wounds plus whatever toughness, and then but they do have separate attack profiles. So the high elf prince attacks separately with a separate initiative than the dragon, who has its own initiative and attacks and weapon skill. But they share a defensive profile. So like my Chaos Lord and Dragon has 10 wounds because it's +6 to whatever wounds the Chaos Lord had, which is 4, and then toughness 7 or whatever. Which is super strong because you can't just kill the rider or the dragon. You got to kill both. And because it's one model, then stuff like Bedazzling Helm, which is the item I was talking about earlier, or Crown of Everlasting Conquest that gives you that regen, the 5-up regen, it affects both models because they share a defensive profile, which is disgusting.
Yeah, those cannons. What you're telling me, man, those cannons are nerfed.
Yeah,
they are nerfed
100%.
so bad.
Which I think is good for the game because if you want to shoot stuff, play 40k.
Well, I mean, that's like the whole Empire thing, really, because not many people have access to cannons.
It's like them and dwarves, I think, are the main cannon people. Even stone throwers, they don't do D6 anymore. It's just D3 to monsters. But yeah, if you wanna, which is what I like about this game, is it's back to like that classic combat res rank and flank, supported by shooting, right? Like, your Tomb King archers are still really good because they hit on 5s or whatever. But the meat is really your skeleton warriors and your Necropolis knights and all your Shabti and all that.
Right.
But the game is great. I think this game is so fun. I'm not even playing fully painted because the game is just so much fun.
What? John not playing
fully
painted?
It's crazy, right? Like the game, I'm having such a good time that I'm not even worried that my models aren't painted yet because I'm just enjoying the game.
That's crazy.
I'm also playing using the Wars of Chaos AOS models, which are super trimmed out. Not as much as Chaos Space Brains, but still a lot of detail and all that. And I wanted to play the game as soon as possible. But it's super fun. I can't wait to throw down with you and your Tomb Kings.
Yeah, I'll have to relearn the rules there, but I'll definitely be down to throw down.
Yeah.
Get the dust off the box that they're in.
Right. And then once you keep playing some more, we could get some base converters for your dudes, so they're the correct base size.
I guess.
But now Old World is going strong. The only issue right now with Old World is if you want to use the official classic models, well, 90% of them aren't out yet, unless you play Bretonnians or Tomb Kings or Beasts of Chaos, and I guess Skaven and Dark Elves, but they're PDF armies. So if you want to play Beastmen, unless you play Beastmen, Tomb Kings, or Bretonnians, there's nothing is really. I mean, you could play Wars of Chaos like me and use the AOS models, but you do need to do some finagling because they are not designed to rank up. So you gotta play Tetris with which models go where in your regiment. But however, there's always third party options. Like I just got a bunch of what's it called? Like medieval German knights, like late medieval German knights for my Empire knights, and some medieval German, great weapon infantry to use as great swords because it's the same scale.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they're the right base size, you're kind of good to go. But yeah, Old World super fun. Probably the best main like big Games Workshop game release in a long time. And even the Horus Heresy is my favorite game. The rule set is not as fun as it could be, or just not as well designed in a way that Old World, I mean, there's still some rules issues. Like for example, if you have an item that says you gain multiple wounds 2 on your weapons, but you have another item that gives you a fireball. Well, does your fireball get multiple wounds too? Like that's not clear. Or if remember stupidity, remember that rule?
Yep, it was in the article.
Yep. So if you fail the stupidity check, you got to move forward. Well, if you're a skirmish unit, like where's forward? Skirmishers have no front rank. So there's just some inconsistencies like that. But just play with your friends, play with a good community, like talk it out, and it's super fun. I really recommend this game to people who want a good Games Workshop game.
Well, good to hear. Yeah, I know my old Friday group, they got back into it because they were big fantasy fans. And then when once fantasy died, they kind of just stopped playing. When
it is back.
Went to play other stuff. Yeah, I haven't actually really done too much. I did if you saw Instagram, I did one model, one little frost giant that I did for Shadows of Brimstone. I played one game as Dark Eldar because in that update for 40k for all the points and some of the rule updates, they gave Drukhari another oh god, I'm blanking on the name. Detachment, basically. So, okay. And they updated one of their Power of Pain special rules as well. So, I thought, why not give Drukhari a chance and see how they are now that stuff has been adjusted points wise, and Power of Pain isn't as bad as it was. So I played one game against Travis's Custodians, and yeah, I got destroyed.
Ooh.
That wasn't even a game. I messed up because I like to do the ABCs of 40k, which is always be charging.
Fair.
So I charge multiple units, which was the mistake. I shouldn't have charged multiple units. I should have just focused down one unit instead. But I charged I think Trajan, and I charged Wardens. And the Wardens had popped a stratagem where they can attack first, and Trajan has a built-in always strike first. And to say what happened to my poor witches and incubi is very sad. Because I failed every single save.
Oof.
I didn't even pass one save. The witches have a 4-up save in combat. I didn't make a single 4-up. So it was pretty much like the worst dice rolling of my life happening in that game over there.
Well, that happens, right?
It happens. Yeah, I was pretty much destroyed by turn 3, I want to say. Turn 3 was pretty much my death. I lost more models during my turn than during his turn. That's how bad it was. So that was a thing. I'll probably give Drukhari another shot and just adjust my list a little bit more now that I know what I need to be doing. But yeah, that was bad. Other than that, just been playing some Shadows of Brimstone every like once a month, and then I got into a new game, and then it's been kind of consuming my life right now, just because I'm having fun with it.
Is it Helldivers?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, everyone I know has been asking me to play that game. I'm like, no, I can't. I need to paint models. I can't lose my life in another game.
It's a fun gameplay loop.
Yeah, I heard.
It's definitely a lot more fun when you have like people to play with. I mean, you can have the randoms go in there, but truly the best experience is with friends, like every video game. But yeah, that's what I've been consumed with. Speaking of video games, I don't think we talked about this, but Space Marine 2 had some major reveals going on. Like, I think before the last time we talked about it.
Oh, really?
I think, right? Did we not? Did we talk about the special edition and everything like that?
I think so. Yeah, the special edition. I remember.
Oh, okay, then yeah, never mind. Forget what I said.
All good.
I didn't realize we talked about. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been drowning in Helldivers too, because it is a fun game. It is fun shenanigans that happen, such as the friendly fire or the bombardments that happen that you cause. But now that I've had my fill of Helldivers too, I mean I'll go back every once in a while. I think it's time to get back into the hobby aspect that I've been neglecting. It's just I felt like I needed this month break.
No, totally
to
fair.
just get away from Warhammer and everything like that. I mean, granted, our schedules haven't been lining up to do this podcast, which is happens.
Mm-hmm.
If we were making the money, getting those sponsors from NordVPN or Raid Shadow Legends, I'd be doing this full time. But I got a new schedule for work, so I should be getting a little more sleep than normal.
Always good.
Yeah, it's nice. I think we'll see how it plays out, but I did miss this very much, so I'm glad we're back at this. Is there anything else that I am missing? Anything else that's worth talking about? I think that's it. Any Star Wars Legion news, or is that just gonna be coming after Adeptacon?
I think Adeptacon. Well, Clone Commandos and Bad Batch. No, not Bad. Well, yeah, I think Bad Batch, Clone Commandos, and Range Troopers are up for pre-order. So,
well,
yeah,
it's the end of February. How are the Genosians doing?
They haven't made an impact yet. I haven't really seen them much on the table. I think people are still building because Genosians are like, it's not a unit where you add one to your droid army and see how it goes. You kind of need like a Genosian army, kind of like Ewoks actually, where Ewoks are really a mini faction of their own. So Genosians, you really need at least 3 or more units, which it's a lot of Genosians because they are a horde unit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, a horde unit already being put in a horde army.
Yeah, that'll tell you.
All right, well, how much data do you think needs to be collected? I mean, we're what, 3 weeks in to them being released?
Well, I think because there hasn't been a big tournament since then. Even like the 30-player tournaments, people haven't been really taking Genosians. Wookiees, Republic, and Ewoks are still kind of dominating the meta right now, the big overall meta. Right. So we'll see if the World Championship because that's the biggest, the last big tournament of the year essentially. So we'll see what that's gonna bring for the game.
All right then. Well, look forward to that. I look forward to hopefully new releases and hopefully John gets his new missions.
Yes, please. I need my new missions.
All right then. Well, that's all I've got. Anything else you want to add before we close out here?
That will be it.
All right then. Well, good to be back. I'd like to thank everyone who's still around and thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time.
Later, everyone.